Hi, everyone. Let's talk about TNA Impact Wrestling. This episode of the debut on AMC was a decent show, in my opinion. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I know some people can agree or disagree. It's fine. But in my opinion, I thought it was a decent debut. Let's talk about it. The things kick off with the return of AJ Styles for the first time since Slammiversary, and the Phenomenal One steps into the Impact Zone, and AJ Styles. Well, I'll say again, AJ Styles welcomes us to AMC and ushers in the next era of total nonstop action of TNA. Then we had Elijah and the Hardys versus Order 4, which was a decent match. Let's talk about it. Elijah joins force with the TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, to battle Mustafa Ali in the great hands of Order 4. And Elijah sends Mustafa Ali face first into the turnbuckle of Jeff, hits Ali with the twist of fate, and Jeff is heading to the top for the twist of bomb, but Tessa Steeles gets in his way, and Matt Hardy connects with a double twist of fate on Mustafa Ali and Tessa Steeles, and Jeff Hardy puts John Skyler away with the twist of fate to win, and that's how the Hardys and Elijah defeated Order 4, guys. Then after the match, Special Agent Zero takes out Elijah and the Hardys, and the Righteous continues to beat down on the Hardys as Vincent regains Jeff Hardy with a chain. The Righteous stand tall with the TNA World Tag Team titles. Then Jilla Miller interviews Frankie Kazarian ahead of his TNA World title. I'll repeat it again. I said tag. Excuse me, my bad. Talking too fast. Talking really fast. Just Miller interviews Frankie Kazarian ahead of his TNA World title defense against Mike Santana, which that was for the TNA World title, guys. This is on the my thumbnail for the TNA World title, and let's talk about it, guys. So yes, Just Miller interviews Frankie Kazarian ahead of his TNA World title defense against Mike Santana, and he confronts by his former friend AJ Styles, who stares at the TNA World Championship over Frankie Kazarian's shoulder. So yes, guys, and I apologize for but that's just how I talk. But anyways, carry on. Ryan Nemeth gets into it with the case of dark winds at ringside. Then Director of Authority Santino Marella speaks on the magnitude of the Thursday night impact on AMC's era, and Santino Marella is still railing after being betrayed by his daughter Ariana Grace. For that reason, the board has appointed someone to help him with his duties, and the debut of Sonya Deville. So yes, guys, the debut of Sonya Deville, aka, but she's going by Dora Ray now. Dora Ray, which we've been talking about her lately. She's the Operation of Authority now and stuff of TNA. So carry on. Let's talk about it, guys. So Dora praises Santino for his work as Director of Authority, but quickly turns on him, and Dora Ray claims that she can do his job better than he can and makes her first official order of business. And Dora has signed TNA's newest knockout, Alina Black, aka Cora J, which she returned as well. Cora J returned and stuff. Alina Black, aka Cora J, but Alina Black returned to TNA. Then AJ Styles I'll say it again. AJ Styles motivates Mike Santana as he prepares to challenge Frank Kazarian for the TNA World title, and the Elegance brand joined by Pierce Hilton as they unfold Mr. Elegance to the world. Then we had the Inspiration versus the Elegance brand, and yes, guys, Casey Lee and Jesse McKay are in AEW now, guys. I'll say it again. Casey Lee and Jesse McKay, the Inspiration, is in AEW now, and they made their debut on the Grand Slam Australia show and stuff, guys. But yeah, that's where they are now, and this was the laugh off of them leaving TNA and facing the the Elegance brand, and the Elegance brand became the new TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Let's talk about this match, guys. Let's talk about it. So the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team titles are on the line. The TNA Knockouts Women's World Tag Team titles are on the line as the Inspiration defends against the Elegance brand. And so Ruka and Saraya are seen watching from backstage, and Shacey McKay brought the fight to Heather and M by Elegance, and George Iceman pulls Jesse off the pin, and Casey pushes Heather off the top and sending her crashing to the floor. And the inspiration goal for the Idler, but Mr. Elegance gets involved, and M rolls up Casey to steal the victory. And that's how the Elegance brand became the new TNA World Tag Team Champions, Women's Tag Team Champions. I'll say it again, the new TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. And that's what happened right there, guys. Then Ariana Grace, I'll say again, Ariana Grace is confront that the TNA International Champion Lorenzo Stacks can handle whatever the Director of Authority Santino Marella throws at him, which we already know, guys. It's Trey Miguel now is the TNA International Champion. You go back and watch my No Surrender review and my TNA Genesis review about that too, guys. You can go back and watch those two reviews as well, guys. I did that before I did this review. I know this is a really late review from like a month ago or so, but we're talking about it anyways. Then the TNA injury report, I'll say it again, the TNA injury report is presented by, but let's talk about the TNA injury report. So Harley Houston, I'll say it again, Harley Hunston, I'll say it again, Harley Hunston, I'll say it again, Harley Hunston and Mala Grace are out after being attacked by Dana Luna last week, and Lee Ling Lee and Saya Brookside are cleared, and Steve Macklin is out of action after being attacked by the NXT Outlaws, which, this is really old. Like I said again, guys, it's been a month since, I've been doing a lot of reviews, but we're back at it again tonight and stuff. So then Mike Santana is cleared after stretching an arm injury at the hand of the NXT Outlaws, and Indy Hartwell Golds remains the same to refill her childhood dream of becoming the TNA Knockout World Women's Champion. I'll say it again, the TNA Knockouts World Women's Champion, and she confronts by the Elegance brand, who are on their way to championship celebration. So yes, the Inspiration, who are on their way to championship celebration party. And then the Director of Authority, Santino Marella, reveals that due to visa issues, Dana Luna will unable to challenge, Saya Lee Ling Lee, and Sarya faced, Saya Lee, which you can go back and watch, my TNA Genesis, which I talked about, and, talked about how I gave that show and stuff, guys. You can all watch that review. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you very much, and peace and love as always, guys. Peace and love. But carry on, guys. So, and Suruku, I'll say it again. I'll repeat it again, guys. So, the Director of Authority, Santino Marella, reveals that due to visa issues, Dana Luna will unable to challenge and stuff, which we already talked about that, on the TNA Genesis review, like I said again. Then Sarya and Soruka make their way to the ring, and Soruka, since that Sarya answers the Oba challenge, and Sarya signs the contract, and that's what happened on TNA Genesis, which, like I said again, guys, you can go back and watch my review for that pay-per-view and what I gave that pay-per-view. Then Santino Marella informs Cedric Alexander, the TNA X Division champion Leon Slater, is unable to compete at Genesis, and Cedric Alexander and Moose will now collide with the NXT Joe Henry in a triple threat, which, guys, I like that match. That match was really good at TNA Genesis last month in January. Then we hear from the system just 2 nights before JDC competes his retirement match against Eddie Edwards, which we already talked about that, guys. And JDC is grateful that he can finish his career in TNA wrestling, and thanks to fans for their support. And JDC reveals that his replacement in the system will be revealed, the following next week. And JDC delivers an emotional message to Eddie Edwards. Then the TNA president, Carlos Savia, also again, the TNA president, Carlos Savia, introduced the TNA Wrestling former president and owner, Dixie Carter, guys, Dixie Carter and all of that stuff. And then now we're going to talk about the main event. In my opinion, this was a great main event. I'm telling you guys, with Mike Santana and Frankie Kazarian, great main event. We'll talk about that, guys, here in a bit. But in my opinion, guys, Dixie Carter, in my opinion, in TNA, I thought she was cool because, that's what got me into wrestling at the time and stuff and all of that, guys. But was she a good, president or owner? She was, yeah. in my opinion, she was okay. Going back at it and watching it back, but as at the time when I became a wrestling fan, it was, but that was me being a kid, and being a teenager at the time. But going back in time and seeing that stuff, it's like there was some good stuff and there was some bad stuff, but nothing compared to WWE from 2018 to 2021. Oh my goodness, man, nothing compared to that. But anyways, let's carry on and talk about the main event with Frankie Kazarian and Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. So it's main event time on the premiere of Thursday Night Impact on AMC as Mike Santana challenged Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World Championship, and Bully Ray joins Tom and Matthews on commentary, and it's a soulmate in the early going as both competitors counter each other finishers, and Mike Santana lifts over the top rope and taking out Frankie Kazarian onto the floor, and Santana continues the assault with a springboard crossbody to the outside, and Frankie Kazarian turns the tights with the sinister leg drop, and Frankie Kazarian counters the rolling buck 50 into a back stabber. Moments later, Santana refuses and hits the rolling buck 50, then picks Frankie Kazarian off the top with a Spanish fly. Then Mike Santana almost pulls him away with the cold red. Then Frankie Kazarian hits the slingshot cutter, but follows it by another leg drop for two. Then Frankie Kazarian essentially collides with the ref and Mike Santana as Frankie Kazarian beats following spin the block, but there's no ref to make the count, and Frankie Kazarian smashes the title between Mike Santana's eyes, then hits the fade to black on the apron, and Mike Santana kicks out at two, then connects with another spin to block, and then Mike Santana hits one final spin to block to become the new TNA World Champion for the second time, guys. And that's what happened right there, guys. That was really good. I was happy with Mike Santana, and the debut of TNA on AMC was a decent show, like I said again, guys, and I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was a decent show, in my opinion, the debut on AMC for TNA Impact Wrestling, and I gave that show a 7 out of 10, January 15th, 2026, and that's all I have to say, guys, and I love all the support, as always, like I say again, guys, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells, as always, guys, and this is CJD 2006, and peace out, and take care, and much love.